Hello, everyone. How's it going? Morning, Ashwati, Ajit, Mom and Dad. Great to see you all. I hope that you're having a good Friday. We have again made it to the end of the week, which is amazing. Pranam Pepe, morning, evening. So I had asked in the description earlier if you've ever felt like you needed to make a decision but felt like you just couldn't choose, or even if you knew what you were going to do, that you were worried about it upsetting others, so you were really scared about having this conversation, and it gave you like knots in your belly or butterflies in your belly. Hey, Shine and Nalini, welcome back. So, I've been thinking about this for some weeks now because a couple of my friends are needing to make decisions, and they're kind of going back and forth, and me too, with new projects, making a lot of choices is sometimes confusing, right? And I realized that often when we're trying to deliver news to someone, we are already preempting, presuming, or assuming what their response will be. And for example, let's say you're a leader in a team or the boss in a team and you need to fire an employee, or you're a person trying to break up with your partner. That's a little bit scary, right? Or a parent letting their children know that their family holiday has been cancelled, and that no, they are going to make a different choice. Or a student letting a teacher know that they can't take on any more work or any more projects. Or your best friend trying to have that tough conversation with you to say that they can't make it for your wedding for whatever reason, right? The examples are plenty, and we've all gone through this, and we've all had this feeling of dread, of foreboding, of anxiety. Some of us get, the loosies because we're so nervous about having these conversations, and, our throat gets dry and whatnot, right? So I've been thinking about it as two different processes, right? One is the internal process where you have to make a decision. And the thing is that, honestly, when you come down to it, when you get to the core of it, only you can know what is good for you. And this is the first place where people get stuck, the internal part of needing to make a decision. And then that external part, which is once you've made the choice, once you've made a decision, you have to communicate it externally, because most of us don't live in caves, right? Most of us live with family or friends, or even if we live alone, we are somehow accountable, or we feel responsible, or we feel a duty or an obligation, and that's a beautiful thing. However, this decision making or decision sharing conversation is where a lot of us get stuck the second time. And my question is, while most of us want to feel this freedom of confidence in the decisions we make and to keep marching ahead even when others question us, can we do it guilt free? I think that it is possible. I think that it is possible to learn how to make and own our decisions, and to be joyful with them and guilt free, and actually have fun making and sharing the information about our decisions. So I was looking at it really, really in depth, and a couple of reasons why we're still stuck are, we do have a habit of obsessively asking for advice. Where you know something, you ask somebody else's advice, and then, yeah, it changes. And many of us are survey addicts, where we ask everyone and their mom and their pet for an opinion. The other thing is that As children, we were often not allowed to make responsible decisions for ourselves because we were not seen as responsible enough. And a lot of us stay in that childlike mode. We default to being passive about what it is that we want. And then it's kind of easy to then blame others because, oh, they decided and therefore now, I feel the way I do. But the thing is, even choosing to listen to someone is a choice you're making. And the third one is that we play victim. Everything is happening to me. A victim defines who they are by what happens to them. When we play the victim in our own lives, we give the power of emotion to others. We give the power of making choices to others. And we also then require approval to feel like we're on the right path. So, and as Palak says, sometimes the internal decision making is already tough, but the external decision sharing conversation is even more difficult and then influences the internal decision making. I love that. Yes, you're absolutely right. So for me, I love to think of solutions. That's kind of the way I'm wired. And I came up with 4 things through research and study and also talking to friends. First step in shifting this for ourselves, because I do believe it's important, is finding out the core reason that we feel guilt or shame or fear. And once we do that, we can take control over our emotions and how we choose we want to respond. If we can observe our decisions and what belief lies behind them, it's that first step. Am I deciding to stay in this job because I feel that, I'm an imposter already. I'm already not great at what I do and no one else is going to hire me. Is that what I truly believe? Or am I staying in this friendship because I don't think I'll find another friend? What is the actual fear? Am I not speaking up because maybe someone shut me down the last time and so I'm just afraid of being embarrassed in public, so it's just easier for me not to speak? What is that root cause? Figuring out why I struggle. And if I can write those things down, then maybe I can realize, you know what, this is not reality, this is just a thought. Maybe I can change this. It does require courage though. It's a lot of work to do. But I think that first step is really, really important. The second thing, how we can shift this, the guilt and fear and awkwardness about making decisions and sharing them with others, is to create a system and create muscle memory. And what that means is that when we practice doing something over and over, we build our confidence and we build our muscle memory. So if you can practice making decisions in your life that you don't need to argue with others about, just some. For example, I'm sure all of you know Steve Jobs used to wear the same clothes every day. He eliminated the amount of time and energy he was wasting on choosing his outfits, his clothing, or deciding to do laundry only on Monday and Thursday. Usually there's this frustration, oh, when am I going to do it? Oh, I want to do it now, but then this person has asked for a meeting, or, my child has asked for this. But if you have already made that decision, then you kind of work everything around it. It's done. It's almost the same way that for keeping it light, I decided Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:45. And once I decided that, all my other work and my plans and my, even my responsibilities, everything is around that. I protect this time. So when we start creating a system for smaller decisions in our life, then over time, with a lot of practice, our bigger decisions also become less stressful because you are practicing prioritizing yourself, even in a small way. And this does help build confidence over time because you're practicing protecting time for yourself that you do have to communicate about to others. The other thing is, when it comes to the external decision sharing moment, practicing creating boundaries, healthy boundaries, where you don't need to justify every decision of yours to another person. Getting used to saying to yourself and where necessary to other people, you know what, that's my choice, it's not your concern. Or I need this specific thing to feel good for myself. I want quiet time in the morning, or I really need to go to bed at 10 p.m. Setting that healthy boundary and practicing assertion while being kind. You don't have to do it in a rude or mean way. You can do it with kindness and firmness. You are worthy of those decisions for yourself. You are worthy of respect and space, and you are worthy of making choices and decisions that benefit just you. It is not selfish. It is part of self-care, which is self-preservation. The other thing is making sure you're not owning other people's issues. You are responsible for what you say and do. You are not responsible for whether other people freak out about your decisions. You might care about it, but you're technically not responsible for what they or how they react. Right? Oftentimes that is what is stopping us from making our decisions, because we're afraid of what someone else might think, whether it's family or friends or a team member. The thing is that once you've made your choice, it is someone else's issue to deal with it, not you. And I don't mean this in an irresponsible way, but there is a difference between owning others' problems and giving them support versus owning what I need for myself. And this is coming back to boundaries again. Where someone else ends and you begin is such a clear distinction, And the final thing, I actually thought it was 4, but it was 5 things. Haha. The final thing is attack the scarcity assumption with an abundance belief. If you believe there is an abundance of opportunities, there are abundance of choices, you react very differently in any given situation. If, let's say, you go for an interview and you're afraid to actually speak your truth, if you believe that there's only 1 or 2 jobs for you, you are going to have a different kind of body language. You're going to choose your words very carefully, almost in a scared way, because you're so afraid of jeopardizing that moment or that interview. But if you believe, actually, there's an abundance of choices for me, there's an abundance of jobs for me, waiting for me to fit into perfectly, that changes everything. And this also can be applied to your interpersonal relationships. My dear friend Ayumi, who I've talked about many times, she gave me a new perspective on this. She said, when you're about to have a conversation that you assume or presume is going to be difficult, what if you tried having this conversation assuming the other person is going to agree with you, that they are going to be excited to hear what you say? Wow, yeah, that's true. What if this choice of mine is actually going to make things better? And if I assume that the person I'm talking to is going to enjoy hearing about it, my body language, my words, my energy, my tone of voice, my facial expression, my eye contact, and also the feeling within me, everything is going to change. And I love thinking about these kind of things with an abundance assumption rather than a scarcity assumption. It's interesting, right? So today, as we breathe, let's take a moment to internalize this idea. Breathing in and breathing out at your own pace, as deeply as you want, in your own time. Just reflecting very gently that it is possible to make decisions for myself and share them with others with joy, without any guilt whatsoever, and with an assumption of abundance. It is totally possible. It is totally possible for me to make decisions for myself that serve me, that help me preserve my health and well-being and sanity, that also allows me to show up for others in a way that is useful and of service without needing to sacrifice myself, without needing to be a martyr. It is possible to make decisions and share my decisions with joy, guiltlessness, and with a sense of abundance and ownership. It is possible for me to own my decisions. I love this topic so much. And please let me know what you think and whether you've been able to practice this or try a different method for your life, because I am so down to learn and I'm so down to, apply new ways. I feel that, I have a ton of decisions to make every single day, and I'm always weighing pros and cons. And maybe sometimes it's the time to put down my clipboard and just go in and decide for myself. It's possible. All right, beautifuls. I will see you next week again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Actually, even if you're on Facebook, I would love if you would go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting out lots of new music, possibly this weekend as well. And I will see you next week. I wish you a wonderful week. And those of you who are joining for the Konokol thing, I'll see you in about 2 hours. Yeah, have a shabba-dabba yabba-dabba-doo day, Marcus, too. All right, beautifuls. Mwah. Bye-bye. Have the best weekend. Love.